Filth is an original animated short film. When a pig farmer returns from a brutal war, he is haunted by the ghost of someone he killed in battle, and as his sanity begins to deteriorate from the grief, he decides to abandon all humanity and live in filth among his pigs. The war broke 25-year-old Tom and shattered his soul into 1,000 tiny pieces. When he returns to his abandoned family pig farm, he quickly discovers that ordinary life is no longer an option when the appearance of a ghost sends his sanity spiralling downwards. The morning after his first encounter with the ghostly presence, Tom decides to purchase some new pigs for his farm, as a distraction from his chaotic mind. He works late into the stormy nights, rebuilding his farm and building a space for his new friends. Life on the farm is tough. The weather is harsh and the long days are lonely and isolating. As the blurred ghost continues to torment Tom around the farm, he throws himself completely into the care of his pigs and begins sleeping with them and sharing their food to avoid the solemnity of his house. After a meeting with an old army friend, grief and memories overcome Tom, and the sudden appearance of the blurred ghost causes a psychotic break and he attacks his friend. In a fit of rage, Tom returns to his farm, burns down his home, strips himself of all humanity, and begins a new life living in filth among his pigs. In the pig pen, the ghost of Tom's torment materializes before him as he crawls in mud, and we see it is a small child covered in oozing bullet holes and wearing a school uniform. We fade to black as we witness Tom's animalistic form as he writhes in his eternal filth. Filth is a story I need to tell because it deals with the topic of PTSD and the psychological damage of war. It also deals with the experience of feeling as though your own sanity is slowly snapping. I, like many, have struggled with my mental health and can understand the sensation of having little control in your own mind. Filth is an important story for our time because it discusses an issue that isn't commonly addressed in modern media, post-war PTSD. In life or death situations, a chemical reaction occurs in the brain which causes heightened alertness and the numbing of pain, which when prolonged can cause permanent damage. During World War II, the US Army determined that this breaking point was from 60 to 240 days. This issue was often ignored in the face of a soldier doing their duty for their country. Tom represents this struggling survivor of war who is attempting to live normally while still harbouring the horrors of their past and crumbling under the pressure. Although Tom's abandonment of humanity to live like a pig seems drastic, it presents the fact that we may never comprehend the extent to which someone is suffering internally. The horror genre is about presenting a story through an unsettling and somewhat visceral lens, by abandoning comfort and portraying certain topics and stories in the most extreme way. This primeval representation of Tom's story will communicate the severity of his suffering. Filth is influenced by The House in terms of visual style and its unsettling use of stop motion, as Filth will be created using claymation for a more eerie effect. There is also influence from The Babadook, where we see the gradual decline of the protagonist's mental state. This is a short film aimed at any adult familiar with feeling mentally and emotionally imprisoned. It's important for this to be a short to ensure that the viewer isn't provided time to become comfortable. I want the horror to feel relentless and overwhelming.